Hello, how are we today, everybody? Doing it a bit differently today. We are doing a pick a deck reading in regard to your past person. Okay, so some of you, this is a past person that you may still be in contact with. Others of you, obviously, you might not be in contact with this person, but looking into that past energy, what's going on between you and this past person. I will also draw a few cards in regard to, possible reconciliation with that person as well. But as you have seen from the thumbnail there, we are doing a pick a card reading today. So if you haven't already picked a deck, I'll make sure I put a photo in the comments so that you can have a look there and pick which pile is sort of speaking to you the most, and watching that section for your reading. Okay, now I will go through what decks I am using because I have got quite a few going, all right? I have pre-drawn the oracle cards for each deck, and then we will have, the individual Lenormand decks happening as well. So the oracle cards that I'm using today, I do have the Island Time Wellness deck I have drawn from. I also have those heart-shaped lovers oracle, as well as a new deck I have here, which is the Angel Answers Oracle cards. Okay, so that's a Radley Valentine deck. Quite a lovely deck there as well. It does have sort of three portions to that deck, so there is sort of a lot of direct answers, as well as, sometimes there is a couple of, timing type cards in that deck as well. So it does sort of tend to give some, more accurate information with that particular oracle. Now, the three Lenormand decks I am using today, for pile one, for deck one, with the little rabbit, I do have a couple of rabbit crystals. I do collect bunny stuff, so I do have quite a lot of bunny things. But with that deck, that is the Dreaming Way Lenormand deck for pile one. For pile two, with that gorgeous heart. So we're going with the heart symbology for that second deck there. And that is the Paper Oracle Lenormand coming through with that one. Now, that particular deck does have a couple of extra cards as well. And then for last but not least, pile number 3, we do have the Seeker's Lenormand, and that was with that beautiful crescent moon crystal. As you can kind of see, it does have some, designs etched into it there as well. It's a gorgeous piece, that one, that selenite moon. Okay, so that's what decks we are using. If you would like to sort of keep it in your mind, if there is any sort of specific questions you want answered in regard to your past person, we'll see if we can get those answered for you. Okay, but obviously going to timestamp those piles as well, so you can sort of jump straight to whichever pile is the one that resonated the strongest for you. But before we do get started, I will just ask if everyone could leave a comment. Not only will you go in the draw for that free personal reading, but it really does help grow the channel, and every single like and subscribe and comment really does mean the world to me, guys. I appreciate all the support so far. Hoping to just grow the channel slightly so that we can get those messages out to everybody that does need to hear them. And of course, if you do have any comments, any requests for specific type of readings, all those sorts of things, because we are such a small channel, I am more than happy to get on board with any suggestions or, things that you guys might like to see. If you don't want to see my face, let me know. We might be able to look at different ways of filming the videos for you. All those sorts of things. If you have any issues with the lighting, I do have these lights behind me, and sometimes they can, create a little bit of glare depending on, how sunny it is outside. Today it's quite dark and winter day over here in Australia. I also do have, obviously an Australian accent. So if there is any particular, words or phrases that I'm saying that you have no idea, make sure you leave me a comment and ask, so that I can just be aware to, be careful what I'm saying when it comes to certain slang things, being, quite Australian. I've grown up in Australia. I've been here my whole life. So sometimes I'm not even aware of some of the things that other people may have difficulty understanding that I'm saying, okay? I do understand quite a lot of you are from the United States. So, you're probably laughing at my accent, but who knows? Leave me a comment and let me know, guys. Okay, but straight on into deck one. So if you have picked pile one, that is that gorgeous little bunny. I do have a few rabbit crystals. This one is quartz crystal. Okay, so on the other side, it's like a pink and blue bunny, and then on the main side, we've got some of the more natural quartz colorations coming through. So it's a gorgeous piece, that one. But so pile number one, like I did say in the intro, I have pre-drawn some oracle cards for us. So for pile number one, starting off here, we do have the abundance card coming through. So keeping a positive mindset, manifesting exactly what you want with this past person, and having gratitude for knowing them at all, and that sense of bliss. So that will help create more abundance in this connection if that's what you're after. We also have the photograph coming through, which, quite expected energy when we are looking at past people. It does say looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, and making new memories. Okay, so it does give that vibe of somebody sort of still, thinking about you a lot. That may be you. If you know that you have been sort of looking at somebody's photographs quite a lot and reminiscing about that past person, that could definitely just be your energy coming on through. But if you haven't really been doing that, rest assured that they are, okay, still sort of keeping up with the memory of what has sort of all the positive times, okay? We also have the two lovers oracle here. So the first one I have is the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. Okay, so for some of you who have picked deck number one, it is letting us know that the past is exactly that, the past, and that you may actually have brand new opportunities with love coming your way, and there's no sort of need to keep, looking back at the past, all right? But we'll see what comes out with that Lenormand. It sort of will give us a little bit more information of what's going on. We also have balance coming through. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. Okay, so that balance, having, every relationship has negatives and positives. So it's really not just agreeing for the sake of it. Sometimes disagreements actually help the relationship progress. Okay, and with the Angel Answers cards, as I said, they're gorgeous cards, these ones. First, we do have the Wait card. Okay, so that's once again just sort of letting us know, have faith. Things are going to work out for you one way or another. A bit of patience needed at the moment there. We also have the Meditation Brings Answers cards. So spending some time by yourself and in meditation may actually help you answer some of the questions that you may have about this past connection, and really looking within, I find, with the meditation card. But getting into the Lenormand, as I said in the intro, using the Dreaming Way Lenormand for deck one there. Okay, so the collective that has chosen deck one, what's going on with this past connection, please? Okay. And what's going on with this past connection in the future? Is reconciliation with this past person possible? What's going on in the future? Okay, so I do have the sense immediately that we do have a lot of people within the collective that have picked this deck. We do have two kinds of groupings, even just within this one group. Okay, so with that, we did see in that lovers oracle there that some of you are going to be putting the past behind you altogether. Sorry, I've just dropped that card. Okay, so some of you are putting the past behind you in the sense of putting this person behind you and focusing on new connections, whereas others of you are putting the past between you behind you, and you might actually be moving forward with this person. Okay, so when I've asked about the reconciliation, I'm kind of seeing that it would be possible, but you know, for some of you, we're sort of moving on altogether, I feel as well. All right, so when we're seeing what's going on in this connection, we do have the flowers first and foremost. Okay, so that is all about giving, and that was followed by the book. Okay, and you can kind of see in this deck the book is closed. So for some of you, the book has closed, the story has finished when it comes to this connection. We are seeing, some sort of an ending. The period of giving to this connection has now ended. That story is over. Okay, so for some of you, it is definitely over. For others of you, like I said, we'll get into that when we hit into that reconciliation stuff. But for some of you, it is sort of definitely over in the past completely. We do have that giving energy though, so I feel as though, if you're one of the ones where this is 100% over, it's because one of you were giving way too much to this connection. You were probably giving a lot more than what you were receiving from this person, and there was just no balance. As we had that balance card come out as well, it just feels as though there wasn't actually balance in this connection. And in order for it to, open that book, things would need to be, have a total level of actual giving and receiving. That balance, that equality would need to actually happen if you wanted this connection to, restart. But, with the flowers as well, it does bring to mind that when we did see in that abundance card as well, that, feeling blessed for what you have had in the past, because, it does feel as though there was a large amount of pleasure within this connection. And, you still sort of having that ability to be quite, have a lot of gratitude for what you did receive within that connection, even if it was just that opportunity to grow within yourself. Okay, but like I said, with that book, it does feel that for a lot of you, this story is kind of over. The book really does talk about the unknown, so there really is, there is kind of that possibility as well. Sometimes the book can talk about brand new chapters, but I do feel as though, for those of you who aren't actually in contact with this person currently, you would actually have to kind of like start a brand new book, and get to know that person sort of all over again. And it would be like starting from scratch kind of a vibe. You can't just sort of pick up where you left off and continue on with this person. It's definitely a large element of this has closed, and the lid is sort of shut on that at the moment. But you would have, to like I said, start all over, a brand new book, not a brand new chapter within the same story, not at all. We would be looking at a brand new story altogether, having to get to know that person all over again and sort of start from scratch within that connection. And then we did have the fox energy coming out as well. Okay, so it does kind of feel that, you're both very independent at the moment, both off on your own journeys, focusing on your independence and yourself, your self survival, what you need in this world, rather than things that can sort of be balanced out, and a joint sort of energy. It is coming across quite an individual type energy. There is also an energy there of, this person, if you were to be in contact with them, they maybe are telling you what they think you want to hear, rather than the full truth. Okay, because with this sort of a reading, the fox can sometimes talk about that player kind of energy, but I actually feel it's actually coming from both sides. You may need to explore your options a little bit. Okay, so no need to be stuck in the past with this person. There's not enough balance and give and take there, for you. So exploring your options, and having that player energy is not always a negative thing. Okay, it's part of understanding who we are and what we do want with connections. Okay, so that's what we have in regard to that connection itself. But then when we're looking at reconciliation, I do have the bird's energy followed by the dog energy, and I do have that potential outcome as the fish. Okay, so with the potential outcome being the fish is that abundance card. So we do have, that double up on the abundance being possible, with this connection. But I'm feeling that for some of you, that abundance is going to be found for you outside of the connection, outside of reconciliation. So, like I said, I still am getting two storylines. That for some of you, this abundance is actually in a brand new connection, whereas for others of you, it definitely is, that possible reconciliation and then refinding that abundance with this person. But like I said, you would need to sort of start a whole new story. Everything that's in the past would need to stay in the past, and you would actually have to get to know this person all over again. Because if you were to attempt a reconciliation with this person, we do have the bird's energy there, like I said, and the dog. Okay, and so the dog does talk about, it's a friendship card, so it talks about that loyalty and stability, within support networks. So for some of you, like I said, if you're not looking to reconcile with this person and you're focusing on new energy, it's talking about supporting, being supported by your friends. But if you are wanting that reconciliation, you would actually have to have a super deep conversation with this person, let go of everything that has been already in this connection, and starting from scratch. And sort of starting from a friendship, and starting from, rejoining as friends, and having that platonic connection, as well as then developing a romantic connection, but really just needing to hash it out. If you were to want to reconcile with this person, definitely would need to have some sort of conversation and sort of build up that excitement to get further in this connection. Sorry. The dog energy, it's really talking about that, that platonic stuff, the stuff that you would have to build on this stuff. So you would have to really build back up to support and loyalty between you. It's not going to sort of happen overnight. It's going to take probably a lot of conversations, to be honest, rather than just even one. You can see that there is more than one bird. There's two birds in that birds card there. So probably multiple conversations, and just getting to know that person all over again. And with the birds there, yeah, it's building up that excitement, through conversing, and through having that basis in friendship once again. So if you do want a reconciliation with this person, it's going to take a fair bit of work, and focusing on the friendship side of the connection, rather than the love side of that connection. To start with, it would take a lot of sort of like with that book energy. It's going to take a lot of writing out that story to get it to where you want it to be. Okay, so it would be a lot of work. It's up to you, obviously, whether that's something that you would be willing to do for this connection. But if you think that you can just sort of pick up and take off where you left off, it wouldn't be possible. All right, we would have much more negative outcomes if we did try to do that. We do really need to actually go back to base and start all over again, and starting off with friendship as the most important thing between you, rather than a love connection to start off with. So for some of you, this may actually be meaning as well that even if you don't reconcile with this person in that love spectrum, that it's definitely possible that, one day you guys might just stay friends. So it definitely is that vibe of, an ex that you could be friends with kind of thing as well. So, it may not become love again in the future. It may just be a solid friendship, a solid, someone that you can rely on in the future as a friend. But with that fish though, we do have the possibility for that abundance to come in between you, but it's really more, it's all about this friendship and conversations at the moment if you do want a reconciliation with this person. Okay, so that's what I have for pile 1. I hope that helped, guys. Let me know in the comments if that did resonate for you in your situation. And like I said, if not, normally I would say you're welcome to check your other placements. But if there was another deck that sort of spoke to you as well, you're more than welcome to check that one out and see if that does resonate a little bit more for you. But I will move on to deck 2. Okay, so if you have chosen deck 2, we had that gorgeous heart-shaped crystal. So it's a lovely orange and yellow crystal that we have there with that one in a love heart shape. I am using the Paper Oracle Lenormand deck for group 2. I also have pre-drawn our oracle cards, so we'll get into those for you. First of all, we do have love coming through. So unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. So this connection with this past person, definitely still a lot of love between the two of you. The second one we have there is the love call card. So even just seeing the word love and then love again, gorgeous energy straight away. So I don't even know if I need to draw possible reconciliation cards for you guys, because already it seems quite possible. Someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. So you may be receiving some word quite soon from this person. All right, so with the Lover's Oracle, we do have healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed this very moment. So, like I said, definitely heading toward, healing this connection. Freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. That's pretty straightforward. So the path back to this person is clear if you want it. Okay. Now with the angel answers cards, we do have yes. Okay. So once again, pretty straightforward, looking like this connection is something that might be coming back around for you. We also have be assertive. Okay, so to me, the be assertive card really does sort of talk about, being clear with what it is that you need and want from this connection, from this person. If there was things in the past, obviously, we are looking at a past person. So if there is things in the past that have, led to this being a past connection rather than a current connection, we need to be assertive to make sure our needs and wants are being met, so that we're not repeating negative cycles or anything like that. All right, but pile number 2, let us know about this connection for pile number 2 with the past person. The collective who has chosen pile number 2, what is going on with this past person? Okay. And is reconciliation possible between these two? Okay. And near future outcomes. Near future outcomes for the pile 2 collective, please. The Heart Collective. Pile number 2. Okay, so it's coming through pretty clearly. You know, we do straight away have you know, the Tower followed by the Stranger card have come on out there. So the Tower does let us know that yes, there is some past things that are still affecting this connection. You know, we do find with the Tower a lot of the time it talks about, you know, I'm actually getting the vibe that either you or this person have needed to actually spend some time to yourself, to kind of get to know yourself all over again, because you have been a bit of a stranger to yourself and you didn't actually know, you know, yourself, or what it was that you wanted with this connection, or in love in general. So either you or this person have needed to take some time to yourself, and that may be part of why this connection has sort of is in the past rather than the current. You know, because one or both of you needing to take a lot of time to yourself to sort of get to know yourself all over again. Straight away, that sort of, I was about to go on talking about something else, but then it just sort of jumped out of me. But you know, for a lot of you as well, what we are sort of looking at is there's some foundations in the past that have been laid in the past that have kind of left you both feeling like strangers in the night, kind of not really knowing what the other one's needs and wants are. So kind of just not on the same page, guys. You know, and it's got to do with, you know, things that have happened in the past, the foundations that you guys have laid in this connection, as well as, you know, yeah, really actually needing to know yourselves, to be able to know what to tell the other one. This is what I need, or this is, you know. So of course, if somebody doesn't know who they are and what they need, how can they express that to you? So then you're not going to know, you know, how to give them what they need, and vice versa. Okay, so there's some foundations that have been laid in the past when it comes to, you know, your needs and wants within each other, within the connection, within, you know, what you need from that other person, and vice versa. And really both needing, I feel it's both of you have needed to really sort of grow and learn a little bit more about yourselves before you would be able to come back together, if that's what you do want. You can't like, but with the stranger there, that there is that element that you have been a little bit of a stranger to yourself. You maybe haven't been been your best friend for a little while as well. Sometimes the stranger, because it is based on the dog card in the traditional decks, it does also talk about, you know, friendships and loyalty and support, but also like when it's the stranger card, it talks about, you know, being separated from those things. So I feel like this is just within yourself, and for your person as well, just within themselves. They're kind of they don't know how to be loyal to themselves. Like, I feel like this is past energy though, so it's like this is what you guys have been sort of growing on and working on within yourselves individually. Is, you know, being more loyal to yourself, stopping that negative talk to yourself, you know, being your own friend, and supporting yourself in positive ways, rather than sort of beating yourself up about things, or just always feeling negatively about yourselves. You know, so I feel as though that's something that you both are guilty of in that sort of a sense, and have really needed this time alone to work through some things just within yourselves. All right. We do also have the Heart coming on through. So definitely a lot of love in this connection. There's definitely, you know, a lot of love in this connection. But I also have the Knife coming on out, and that I was going to clarify that, but I have kind of gotten an answer, you know, when I've asked these other questions about what that's all about. So the Knife really does talk about, you know, sudden changes, needing to break away from things, needing to cut something out. All right. So I don't feel as though, I feel like once again, this is more to do with you both as individuals and needing to cut out certain behaviors that you've done in the past, needing to cut out or cut off certain people that you each may have sort of interacted with in the past. And I feel like I feel like one of you has sort of had someone in their ear that may not have been the best advice, and needing to cut that energy out as well. But I am seeing with your outcomes what sort of a bit more information about what that is. So I'll come back to that when we get to that. But looking at the reconciliation possibility here, we do firstly have the mountain. Okay, so the mountain does talk about needing to persevere, put in the hard work, basically. If you are determined that you do want this connection back, it is possible. It just means that you do need to put in a fair amount of hard work. This is the Capricorn card, so it does really talk about that perseverance and that determination and, putting in the hard work to climb up that mountain, because you can kind of imagine this, see this figure pushing this boulder up the hill. But what's going to happen when we get to the top of that hill? That boulder is just going to roll on through, and it's going to, clear a path straight on down the other side of the mountain and, fly off into the sunset. So definitely a lot of opportunity with this card as well. Any obstacle or delay that you guys are facing within the connection, it easily can be overcome. Like I said, once you get to the top of that mountain, you can sort of see your way clear and roll that boulder back on down the hill, and it's no work on the other side. It's all just opportunity and good stuff on the other side of the mountain. It's making sure you put in the hard work to get there in the first place. All right. And the hard work that we're sort of talking about, we need communication. It's all coming down to communication. Okay, so the birds does talk about communication and, rebuilding the excitement for this love. We did have love on the table, so there's a lot of love, and we've seen in those oracle cards, there's a lot of love between you both. There definitely is love here. All right, but with the birds, it's sort of needing to rebuild that excitement to want to have this love with each other. And also conversations. It can talk directly about phone calls. But we also have the letter, okay? So that talks about all forms of communication, texting, talking online, phone calls, emails, talking in person. But a lot of communication, and that's probably a big part of what this hard work is going to involve. Some heavy duty conversations between you both of you sort of, airing everything and letting each other know, okay, look, I've spent some time to myself. I now have a better understanding of what I actually need within a connection. This is what I need from you. This is what I need to give you, all those sorts of hard conversations. It's probably going to feel like a bit of hard work, but if you put that hard work in and you have those deep conversations, and with both of those coming out right next to each other, I would say we're probably looking at, a very big conversation happening, a very big, open lines of communication, and making it very important between you to communicate effectively and communicate all these things, communicate your needs to this person. Like we did see with that, be assertive, let them know what these are my boundaries. This is what I need from you, and these are my boundaries. We really need to talk about this and this and this. I need to talk about this, you need to talk about that, and really sitting down and getting into the nitty gritty of it and, hashing it all out. Okay. But then also, if you do want to reconcile with this person, making sure that you establish strong communication between the two of you for the future as well. All right, because we are seeing with the possible outcomes that this is where I was sort of saying that knife energy comes to make a bit more sense to me, because we do have the coffin. All right, so with the coffin, it does sort of talk about something needing to end, something needing to close off, in order for the new energy to come through. All right, so we do see between the knife and the coffin, we are clearly seeing that there is something that's still needs to end between the two of you. So, you know, you guys are going to know, you're going to know, have a better idea than I do of what exactly that thing is. It may just be this lack of communication, because I'm feeling that for the communication to be coming out so strongly, and that stranger to be up there in the initial energy, that, you know, you don't understand each other. You haven't only just sort of started to understand yourself. So in order to understand each other, you do need to have this communication. And so that's probably what needs to end. This dealing with things all by yourself and not communicating, you know, that's what needs to end. You need to close that off, and close the door on not talking and not discussing these things. Cut that ish out and talk to this person. All right, I feel like that's kind of what that's talking about for a lot of you. And that coming out in the outcomes, it's saying that, yeah, you're not going to have an outcome, you know, because that coffin does talk about, you know, a death brings new beginnings, right? So if you don't have that death and you don't cut that out, you are not going to get those new beginnings. And then the stalk is there. Okay, so we do have new beginnings with the stalk. The stalk really does stir up new energy. So you're really needing to have these conversations if you want this new energy, if you want to move into new positive cycles with this connection, and you want to reconcile with this person, you both need to talk. Okay, it's coming out as very, very important that, you both have probably been, off in your own little towers, pardon, spending quite a lot of time in solitude, individually, and, have been kind of strangers to each other. And I'm feeling that it's a lack of communication in the past, quite strongly coming through as well. So definitely, definitely needing that communication to be strengthened, and cut the ish out, and cut that lack of communication out. Communicate effectively with this person, and those new beginnings will definitely be stirred up between you both. And like we have seen, there is so much love, between the two of you. We've gotten multiple cards that all sort of, point to a lot of love being between you and this person. So, if you want to take advantage of that and reconcile with this person, you are going to need to communicate with this person, and open those lines of communication for the future as well. It needs to be long-term communication, not just, one conversation, we're good. It's not going to work like that. You need to be assertive and really get across what it is you need from this person, and allow them to do the same as well. And neither of you need to be in that tower energy anymore. If you can think about, like Rapunzel locked away in her tower. No, you need to support each other and communicate, rather than allowing each other to go off separately and into your own towers and whatnot. You can be there to support each other with those sorts of things. All right. So, but we did see, right back to the start there. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. All right. So definitely a lot of possibility within this connection, a lot of love. All right. Let me know in the comments if that resonated for you. But I will move over to pile 3. Okay, so if you have picked deck number 3, that's the deck with that beautiful selenite crescent moon. We are using the Seeker's Lenormand for your pile. I have pre-drawn some oracles as well. So with the oracles, here we'll get straight on into it. Deck number 3, we have the clock card. Okay, so needs time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, and progress. Okay, we also have the self-indulgence card coming through. So that does say focusing on yourself, self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, and self-appreciation. All right, so we are coming up to the full moon, and every full moon I do a shadow work reading. So that should be uploaded on Sunday the 3rd, I think it will be. Okay, my time. So I'm in Australia, so it might be a day early for everyone else over there that's watching. You know, I know a lot of my subscribers are from the US, so you know, it may come up a little bit earlier than when you guys see the actual full moon, but we'll see how we go. That's you know, still a whole week away yet. So coming up next weekend. So this is obviously the start of my weekend readings for this week. So next weekend we will have a shadow work reading uploaded, but I do have some past ones as well if you wanted to look into shadow work as well. All right, so with the Lover's Oracle, we do have life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised where it leads. Okay, so that's talking about, you know, once again with that clock energy, taking time, as well as, you know, just going with the flow of life, doing what you need to do for yourself and sort of just going with the flow. Don't resist change, flow with the change. Okay, and then we have this one here, which does say, imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities in your life. So once again, that's a very go with the flow kind of message. Now with the angel answers oracle cards, firstly, we do have not the right time. All right, so another time reference about things taking time. All right, so it's not quite the right time. So whatever that's going to mean for you, it may not be the right time to, you know, be pushing anything with this past person. But we also do have communicate clearly. All right, so that does sort of vibe to me as, you know, communicating with yourself clearly about what it is that you want, what has happened in the past, you know, going through all those sorts of things. That is a shadow work type of vibe coming through there. Communicating clearly, you know, what it is that you do expect and want from connections. And where you may have gone wrong, you know, clearly communicating with yourself and being truthful with yourself. All right, but we'll have a look at the Lenormand. Pardon me. Okay, the collective that has chosen deck number 3. What's going on with this past person, please? Okay, and will reconciliation between the collective of deck 3 and their past person be possible? Is reconciliation with this person possible? Okay, and outcomes between you and your past person. Okay, so when we're looking at the situation, at the connection here, firstly, I do have the key and then the scythe. Okay, so that's kind of letting us know that, you know, the success that you are after within this connection, you have unlocked changes to that. Okay, so the key really does talk about, you know, opening new doors and unlocking new possibilities. All right, and those possibilities have sort of changed. The scythe does talk about sudden unexpected changes. So something that has happened in the past has unlocked, you know, brand new possibilities for you. So I am feeling that this is kind of separate to the connection, that you know, this is just you yourself. I feel, you know, you're kind of unlocking a lot of change, and that change within yourself. So probably learning quite a lot of lessons from the past person here, you know, and what's gone on in the past. Probably, you know, brand new experiences, and really unlocking, knowing what changes you want, what things you do want to change within this connection. It feels like, with the change card being there, it does show that there are quite a lot of changes that do need to, you need to open the door to that change. As we saw there, we did see that, that oracle talking about don't resist change, going with the flow. So you are aware that change is quite important within this connection already, and that you will need to sort of make some changes. I feel within yourself, as well, as within the connection as well. So this person may need to make some changes as well, but that was followed up by the lily. All right. So whatever changes we're making, they are going to be, long-term changes. And it's talking about emotional intimacy. So once again, I really do feel as though this is talking about that shadow work, that talking to yourself, that, you're focusing on your self-worth, focusing on yourself, and making those changes within yourself, facing your emotional side head on, and sort of, thinking about the things that you do need to change in order to, make these changes permanent for yourself, and in much more positive ways. All right. So we do have the longevity card there. So with this connection, it does show that, there's something in this connection that is definitely, long term to your advantage. So whether that's this connection itself, or whether it's the lessons that you have learnt from this connection, and about yourself while we've sort of dealt with all this stuff in the past. It is sort of making some long-term changes with the way that you look at yourself, the way that you communicate with yourself, and your own emotions. Okay, so being very emotionally intimate with yourself. Obviously this could be talking about both of you, them needing to do the same. Okay, and so when we're seeing that change card in the middle, if those changes aren't made, I don't feel as though, if we don't both make the changes necessary, then, how could that be a long-term success for this connection? But I am sort of seeing here, when it comes to the possible reconciliation, it is definitely looking possible within this connection. All right, we do have the flowers first and foremost. So both needing to, this is all about equality and giving and receiving. Okay, so you both do need to give to this connection. If we want to reconcile this connection, you both have to sort of be on the same page, and really both be willing to give to this connection. It's pretty straightforward. And then we do have the letter. So every single pile has gotten, the communication coming through today, that you are going to need to communicate clearly, and you are going to need to communicate what you need to give to them and what you need to receive from them, what changes you need to be made within the connection if you do want to reconcile this connection. Because with the letter there, it really does talk about all forms of communication, online, in person, phone calls, texting, all that sort of stuff, any type of communication. But it's really emphasizing that you do need to communicate clearly with this person, as we saw with that angel answers, that you do need to communicate clearly with this person. All right. And that was followed up with the book as well. So the book really does talk about new chapters coming through. So if you want those new chapters, if you want to start writing this story with that person, you do need to communicate with them. And as you can kind of see here, that key unlocks the new chapters. All right. So, really facing those changes head on, and making those changes will unlock the next part of this story with this connection. Okay. So if you are wanting to reconcile with this person, you really are needing to, communicate with yourself first and foremost, make those changes within yourself, really focusing on your self-worth at this time. Like we saw, it's not the right time just as of yet. You are really needing to sort of, I feel like you guys are both in this stage where you are really needing to just focus on yourselves, and take the time to heal from whatever's happened in the past, and take the time to make those changes within yourselves that are going to actually unlock future possibilities for this connection. All right. And then we do, as an outcome, have the masculine and the sun. Okay. So the masculine is, you know, I feel as though this is actually talking about whoever the masculine is within this connection. All right. So whether that's you or the other person, I don't mean the male, because, we could be looking at same sex connections. I'm talking about the person who is the masculine figure within the connection. So they're probably going to be someone who is quite reserved and doesn't talk about their emotions quite a lot. They really need to reveal their emotions, bring their emotions to the forefront. They may be the more controlling, dominative type part of the partnership, and they really are needing to bring to light their needs and wants, and that they are going to give to this connection. So whether that's you or this other person, as an outcome, it's kind of showing me that the outcome is actually reliant on them actually being able to open up and communicate effectively, reveal themselves to you. All right. So whether, like, I'm saying to you, but it may be you that needs to reveal yourself to them. All right. But the sun does talk about happiness. Okay. It is one of the happiest cards in the deck. So seeing that as the outcome, even when it's talking about, bringing things to light, it still really does reflect that there is potential hugely happy outcomes here. Okay, so it's just very dependent on, being able to bring these things to light between the two of you. And I feel like maybe for one of you within the collective, that whoever that masculine is, there's something in particular that they need to reveal to you, or they need revealed from you. I do feel as though it's talking about, whether you're willing to give to this connection or not. But there is definitely something that needs to come to light. I do feel as though, with these other cards on the table, I do feel as though that's an emotional thing. I don't think that it's anything, worrying or anything like that. I do just feel that it's those true emotions, and getting you both on the same page, that we do want this, and we do want to give to this. Okay, but once again, that communication is just coming through so strongly, that you really do need to spend some time healing and working on the things that you would want to change within yourself, and then we can have those big conversations. But there's definitely a big conversation, a lot of communication that needs to happen, things that need to come to light between you both, when it comes to your emotions and what you want from this connection. All right, so that's what I have for you guys, pile 3. Let me know in the comments if that resonated for you. I hope that it did. If you do have any suggestions for, another pick a card kind of reading or anything like along those lines, let me know. I'm really happy to take suggestions on board. All right, but thank you all so much for your support so far, and hopefully I'll see you all again soon.